So Magic mains have been begging and begging and begging and begging for more 1 and 2 SP damage options, and this is Neo-Wiz's response. It's Roxy. Roxy is from some anime whose name I already forgot multiple times, and she's nicknamed Blue Momma in Chinese. What the heck? But in all seriousness, if you want to know if you should pull for her and build her for PvP, this is the video for you, especially if you're a new player. So Desire Roxy's ratio is not that high, but that's not unexpected for 1SP, as 1SP is super valuable in PvP. She attacks 3 times with a 70% ratio when fully upgraded, and she can pack a punch. The most similar costume to her is probably Sword Queen Sylvia with 4 attacks and a 44% ratio, but Sylvia also gives herself a huge attack buff that Roxy does not have. Roxy trades that lower damage though for a better AoE, having that extra spot at the bottom with the potential upgrade, having a silence, having lower cooldown, and having a better 5-star buffer, as all things being equal, B. Helena buffs magic units better than H. Lathel buffs crit-based physical units. Okay, so next I wanted to talk about some of the pros and cons of Roxy. I think she has a lot of stuff going for her, but she does have some drawbacks. The biggest pro, in my opinion, is that she has a double banner, which is really useful if you're a new player. Oftentimes when a character has a good costume come out, you have to wait months and months for another costume come out for them to be good together. Like Base Eclipse had to wait till winter before she got her Bunny Eclipse, and she was a viable character. So having 2 costumes come out together that are 3 SP that you can chain back and forth is really nice, a complete package of a unit. She also basically will kill any squishy, even if they're 90 MRes if she's buffed with Helena. She can do solid damage to tanks as well, probably won't kill most of them. Silencing 1 to 3 units in PvP is very nice for 1 SP. The fact that you can get lucky against a 401 or a 104 comp where your units are on the other side, but you were able to silence 3 of them is absolutely cracked. The ability, even if you only silence 1, taking that unit out on defense is basically killing that unit, because units cannot do anything on defense. They're very rarely, if they're not buffed, they're not doing anything, and you don't always run a buffer on defense. So very strong. And then turn 3, I think her base nuke is very threatening against any unit without high HP and 90 MRes. I think I ran some numbers and she can actually kill a 0 MRes Leclis, which until you find like get into very high elo, most Leclises will be 0 MRes. You can see here, even with the elemental disadvantage, if the Leclis has her edge guard up and your Roxy is well built, she can kill her with that nuke. And that nuke also has the craziest AoE. That is going to hit 2-3 plus units. Even if she doesn't kill them, she is going to leave them bleeding, and the rest of your team can follow up if they haven't already. But then some cons, she's going to have elemental disadvantage a lot, mostly against tanks. Basically all of the tanks that are relevant, not all of them, but most of them are wind, and so similar to Shara, their biggest weakness together is they'll oftentimes have elemental disadvantage and they're going to struggle killing tanks. She has the lowest base HP out of all the 5 stars, so a small breeze is going to kill her. Now you can get around this by putting in things like base Helena's damage reduction, or AD Diana's edgeguard. Then likely she's going to be killing herself against Gran a lot. This is probably her biggest weakness on turn 1. She doesn't have any tools to deal with Void Gran. I've seen some players recommend going like really low damage on her so that she doesn't kill herself on Gran, but she can still kill a squishy. That's up to you if you want to try it out. I would rather just go full damage and, you know, risk it for the biscuit. I do think the reward is worth the risk, because even if you kill yourself on the Gran, you've at least silenced her. Your other units can kind of maybe pick up the slack. But the biggest problem, the biggest con in my opinion, is she doesn't solve the most common issue new players have, which is lack of Dispel. If you don't have Dispel on turn 1, or you don't have an Omega nuke like a really well built Bunny Eclipse, you're going to struggle on turn 1 against Idle Gran. You're going to struggle on turn 1 against Void Gran. And so she doesn't solve the Dispel issue, but I think in tandem with Pool Party Shara, she can be very good. And then next, her exclusive gear is limited, so players kind of have to pull for it at the end of the banner, and that may cost a lot of pulls. Normally it's strongly recommended to not pull at all on gear banners, because it's a little bit of a bait unless you're a whale. You normally should just do your free daily pulls, and if you get a UR exclusive, great, pull it out on that unit and have fun. But it's not usually a good idea to pull on gear banners. You kind of have to for a collab. You're not going to get it outside of the collab. And then lastly, this is also one of kind of critical problems with her, is she has almost 0% chance of improvement with future costumes. So whereas units like Lone, units like Therese, units like Eclipse that used to be these 1 costume wonders have potential and have been improved in the past with new costumes that came out that made them a lot more useful. She doesn't have anything in the future to look forward to, so this is kind of her, she's already capped in terms of her potential. She's never going to be like SSS tier because some new costume came out. So in summary, for veterans, obviously you make your own decisions, but High Elo is still trying her out. It seems at best she is a side grade to Rue. She does have high value potential with silencing multiple units, but she can also kill herself on Void Grand similar to Sylvia, which is a problem, right? For newer players, I'd say, if you're new, especially if you came because of the collab, go ahead and go all in on her. She's a solid 1 SP investment that will probably be best on your PvP attack team for the near future. She's strong in PvE as well. If you pair her with PB Shara, the pool party costume, that's likely, I don't know if it's confirmed, to be rerun during the summer event. The two together will be a strong 3 SP opener around which you can build a magic team. Add in, Be Idle Helena in your opener and you'll be off to the races. You'll have a pretty strong attack team. Of course, you don't have to pull for her right now if you don't want to, as her banners will be up for the next month or so. We'll have a better sense in 1 or 2 weeks if players are using her consistently, or if they just wanted to try her out for the week and didn't really like her. But at best right now, I see her as a side grade Aru and a better turn 1 Sylvia, because Sylvia has more of her power budget put into turn 3 and 5 with her buff. And then lastly, I'm going to put her right up here in the A tier next to all those other A tier costumes that you guys can definitely see. I think that's where she belongs. I think there's some costumes that are better than her, but I think she's solid, especially if you're a new player. She'll be fine. And with that, that's all I wanted to cover for Roxy today. I hope you learned something. If you have any questions, obviously feel free to hit me up here or in Discord, and I will catch you later in the Mirror Wars.